So tell me, what do you find most couples have issues with?
100% of people seek therapy with communication issues.
Can you just give me a list of 5 things to do when you're having an argument to avoid bigger arguments? Hi, this is Kourosh Pourmorady with kmpdivorce.com. I'm really happy to be here, and we're gonna be talking with a friend of mine, Sarah. Sarah is a licensed therapist, clinical supervisor, and the owner of Prospect Therapy in Long Beach, California. Thank you for being here today,
It's my pleasure,
Sarah.
Kourosh. It's nice to see you.
Yeah, it's nice to see you. I'm really excited. We're gonna talk. We're gonna help people understand and get a better understanding of their conflicts and their marriage. So I know that you help a lot of couples with couples therapy. Why don't you go ahead and tell us about a little bit about yourself and your background, please?
Of course, yeah. So I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist. I work throughout the state of California, but I'm based here in Long Beach. I'm born and raised in Los Angeles. My family is from Afghanistan, and so I built my practice really focusing on immigrant and bicultural communities. You don't have to have that background to work with me, but I find that a lot of the couples who want to see me, usually it's for that reason because I have some cultural knowledge. But I've been practicing for almost 15 years. I've developed a specialty, particularly in couples therapy. I really love working on relationships. So there's plenty of therapists who don't do that, and it kind of scares them. So that's fine. I personally really don't work with very young kids. That scares me. So everybody has their thing, but
Right.
um, my focus and most of the clients I work with are married partners or long-term partners kind of at any stage of their relationship. Sometimes people think, oh, if we're going to couples therapy, then that's it. We can't be saved. Our fights are too bad. Like that's really the last step before a divorce. And that's really not true. I think people are often surprised by, you can come when things are really good. Things That's a great time to kind of get deeper in your relationship and maybe tackle some of those issues that you've been avoiding or that you haven't been able to discuss on your own. But that being said, because my style is a little bit more direct, we'll say, still loving, still a therapist who will listen to you, but because I'm a little bit more direct, people will often come to me for kind of really high conflict, or they've tried everything else and they're like, okay, let's just try
Right.
therapy and see if it
I
works.
love that. I love that. So,
Yeah.
do you recommend couples? You just said it, in the beginning of the relationship to have therapy together.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually prefer working with couples. I find that when you work with people one on one, which I also do, um, we can build that relationship. But when I have a couple come into my office or see me online, I can really see their relationship with each other. And that's really what they want help with. That's really what we're working on. And I find people are a little bit more honest when there's more people in the room.
Yeah.
They can be more accountable. And I really think that something I tell a lot of my couples is, you know, a loving and attuned partner who finally hears you and understands you is worth 100 therapists, because that's who you're living with. That's who you're building your life with. And if they can give you kind of what you're coming to me for, then you all don't need me. And I don't keep couples for a very, very long time. Of
Yeah.
course, people trust me and some people work with me for years, but most people find very quickly that their relationship completely changes in a good way.
So tell me, what do you find most couples have issues with? What area is most a problem with most of the relationships?
100% of people seek therapy with communication issues.
Communication issue. Yeah, that would have been my issue if I was, was gonna
Yeah.
go to a therapist. Communication. So, what aspect of communication is so difficult? Why is it so difficult?
My next question when people come to see me is, okay, well, what are you communicating about? well, we're fine, except we always fight when we talk about our in-laws or about money or about our, you know, intimacy. And that's really the issue, but it's much easier to just say, you know, communication issues. I find that for most couples, what they don't realize is they're actually not speaking from the grown-up part of them that knows better, and the part that you usually meet and everybody's on their best behavior, and you know, when we're calm and we're thinking clearly, there is no communication issues. But as soon as we switch back into what I call kind of like our inner teenager, or you know, the
Inner
internet,
child.
yeah, the internet loves to call it your inner child. I really think it's like that inner teenager, whether you were very rebellious or very
When the
um
hormones are boiling.
yes, exactly. And so I
Yes.
help them
Okay.
kind of get back online into their grown-up self. And everybody says, well, we don't have a problem until we have a problem. And that moment is really when you need to kind of be most brave and most vulnerable and say, even though I'm feeling all these things, I'm still going to show up as the best version of myself. And I'm going to invite my partner to also show up in that way. So
But
that's,
Sarah, that doesn't work though. I've noticed. I mean, I've been in relationships, and it's like when you're hooked, then nothing works. Nothing works, honey.
yeah,
Then you don't want. Then you just are not the same human being anymore.
that's
I mean,
true.
how can you communicate in that situation?
That's true. You're right. And I will say, I let people off the hook that if you can't, if you're just too angry or you're too upset, then the best thing you're not going to get to the bottom of anything. The best thing to do is let's not talk about it right now. That's the first
So just
tool I
leave.
give
Just
people.
leave the situation.
Yeah, there's a safe and kind way to leave a situation. We don't just slam the door and we don't know where you're going or when you're coming back or what happened. There is a way to do it, but I think sometimes couples are relieved that, you know, I'm not going to therapy that out of you. I'm not going to say you'll never be mad again or you don't have your sensitivities or certain things that you don't like. Like that is part of who you are. We don't change that, but we just learn to work with it. And sometimes the answer is like, we're not getting anywhere right now. The best thing to do so you don't make things worse and say something that you will wish you didn't say is let's not talk. But you know, I'm telling you this in 90 seconds. It's a much longer process where, you know, there's a little bit of education, there's a little bit of personal reflection and seeing what sets me off and why, what does this remind me of,
Mm,
what is this
that's
need
good.
that I haven't gotten met. And when you do that in front of your partner, they're listening to what I'm asking you and they're learning about you without you having to, you know.
Oh, that's fantastic. So you would ask the couple, like at that moment, like what you to have do a self-reflection, right?
Yeah, what is this,
Introspect.
what is
Yeah.
this really about?
What is this really about? Okay, yeah, I can dig that. I
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, but they have to be honest.
And the truth is, sometimes people decide that, you know, we get to the end of this and they get to the bottom of everything and they find something that they can't reconcile. Often it's a values difference or something really fundamental about who they are and what they need. And in those times, sometimes a successful therapy is we decided together, we figured out we actually shouldn't be together. And some people are afraid of that or they think that that is, you know, a failure or something. But I say there's a worse way to end a relationship, and this way at least you're both, it's become clear and you both kind of agree rather than, you know, all the other bad ways that we've seen it happen. So
Okay, so if you were to like advise the audience,
mhm.
like few steps to handle arguments, five things to do when you're having an argument to avoid bigger arguments, what would be the first thing to do?
The first thing to do, I would say, hey, can we both agree? Can we call kind of a timeout or say, hey, this is getting out of control? And if we
Okay,
can
so
both do
time
that,
out.
yeah.
Time out is first. What's the second one? What's the
The
second
second one
step?
is to take a little bit of space and let me, without defending myself or getting in the argument, take a little bit of space and reflect on what's really bothering me here. What am I really upset about? There's the
On
top,
your own. On your
yeah,
own.
definitely on
On
your
your
own,
own.
but then you can come back When you have
Okay.
figured that out, the third thing is to come back and say, hey, you know what? I figured out what was bothering me. This is what's going on for me. I don't like when people do this, or this reminded me of something. And your first thing that you share is not going to be, here's what you did wrong and why I don't like that. When you show up and say, hey, this was my fault. This is the part that I can hold. Your partner is also going to back off because they're expecting
Ah,
you
so
to
if you
come back.
take yeah, if you take responsibility, then they'll understand it better. Okay, so what if at the moment that you're taking responsibility, the other side's still angry?
Yeah, of course, that happens. If one or both of you is still angry, you say, "You know what? I thought we were ready, but let's cool off a little bit more because this is not going to be productive." And I say that this is my polite, calm way of saying it. You find your own way to say it. I don't want you to talk like a therapist, and that's really going to make somebody angry. But
Right,
you can
right.
say this is not going anywhere. Let's cool off. Something like that.
Okay, so the third step is to come back and take responsibility. Okay, and then hope for the best.
Well, you can hope for the best, but you can also create the best because now that you both
Huh.
understand, oh, this is what was really the problem. I didn't know that that bothers you, or I didn't realize I was doing this, or even if I did know it and I still don't get it, and I still think it's kind of dumb that that bothers you. But step four is, you know what? I can agree. I won't do that.
So it looks to me that therapy for couples is really is about learning about each other,
Yeah,
learning about each other's feelings and learning about each other who we are at
yeah,
the because the hard times are when you actually show up with
that's right.
who your inner soul is, right? And those are the times. And through couples therapy, couples will learn about each other,
That's
right? I
right.
mean, you accommodate people with that, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the core of our work.
That's the core of our work. So it's learning about each other. It's really great. Instead of therapy, they should call it learn about each other.
Yeah, yeah.
Learn about each other's sessions. Really, that's you should use that as your promo
You know what?
next time.
You're gonna see it. You're gonna see it soon. I think I will do that.
Okay, so that's great. I think that summed it up right there. That last thing, like we do therapy, you give therapy, you help people learn about each other, and as a result of that, they don't end up coming to my office
Yeah,
having to file their divorce for them,
they
right?
might still, but at least it will be something they both decide on, and it will be with intention, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, great. I wanna do this with you again. We're on a short leash today, we're gonna close up. Is there anything you want to say before we end up this video?
Just that, we are based in Long Beach. You can find us at prospecttherapy.com, and we do take all sorts of couples. And if we can't help you, then we are really proud that we have a strong referral network, and we'll connect you with someone who can.
Okay, okay, great. I also saw on your how long have you been a therapist? 15
Yeah.
years, you said, right? Okay,
Yeah. Mhm.
fantastic. Fantastic. So I truly appreciate it. It was great talking with you. We're gonna do this more often. Okay, you
Oh,
promised that you're gonna join me when I ask you. Yes?
yes, it's my
Okay.
pleasure. Anytime.
Okay, we're gonna talk about other issues next time. I am Kourosh Pourmorady with kmpdivorce.com. We're committed to help people that want a friendly and amicable the solution of their marriage. Of course, our intention is to be aggressive and help people, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. It's a divorce. So that's who we are. Thank you, Sarah. It was
Thank you.
great being with you.
Yeah,
Take
same
care.
here. Bye.
Thank you.